Hello everybody and welcome to another Little Nightmares 2 theory video. And today I am back and I want to talk about and dive deeper into something that I noticed while looking through the paintings and images used for Little Nightmares 2. I do have a video coming up where we will go into detail on all of those paintings in the future. But with that being said, I must give a quick shout out to Nico, because he was the one that actually took the time to gather all the photos, upscale them, and put them in a zip folder, and he actually sent them to me. So again, Nico, thank you very much. But something important came to mind once I noticed a link between a few of these paintings, and a certain character in the Little Nightmares 2 game. And this is what we're talking about today. So, before we get into this video, let this be your spoiler warning, as default for usual, Little Nightmares 2 and Very Little Nightmares, as this is going to use a lot of material from each of them. And again, ladies and gentlemen, remember, if you like Little Nightmares theories and want to see more, make sure to hit subscribe. So, let's begin. Let us talk once more about the Doctor, one of the most interesting characters in Little Nightmares. Once just a speculation from files to getting a character who was eerily what we would have expected, but nothing quite prepared us for the mystery and lore that would surround him as a character, making mannequins, or patients as they're called, move and act alive, as long as they aren't in the light mind. It's one thing, but going through a room filled with evidence of other characters' faces was not what I was expecting, to say the least. This changed everything about his role in the Little Nightmares universe, because now we know he wasn't just creating patients. He could have been creating everyone we knew, and could have been the cause for most of the characters that we do see in the Little Nightmares universe, specifically Little Nightmares 1. So it's safe to say the Doctor has a connection to possibly nearly most of the characters that we encounter in the Little Nightmares games. If you have not, or aren't up to date on one of our theories about the janitor being linked to the Doctor, video in the description below I will add, we have a theory that the Doctor and the janitor are connected, as the Doctor has created the mask for the janitor in Little Nightmares, as his face is among those found in the room full of faces, as well as some of the guests from the mall, and possibly even one of the chefs. It would definitely make sense for the janitor to have some sort of history with the Doctor, as we have always wondered why Roger's face looks like a mask and why it's rolled down, and now we could have an answer to it. But he wasn't the character I wanted to talk about today. No. Ladies and gentlemen, you thought this was going to be another Roger video. See there, I pulled a sneaky on you. But alas, my friends, it is not. When looking through the image files, I noticed a picture of a patient being built. That's right, built. And you can see the patient's progression from the paintings or drawings or images. But someone came to mind as soon as I saw it. And I think this is pretty hard evidence for the connection between this character and the Doctor, or at least the Doctor's capabilities. By now you can see some of the images on the screen. Let me know what you think, or take a moment, take a little quick guess. What do you think? Keep in your head, pause the video, type it down below. Don't worry, we'll be waiting. Or just keep watching, it's fine, and I'll tell you what I see. When I looked at this picture, one character came to mind. While it's missing some of his features, I immediately thought this could have been the Craftsman from Very Little Nightmares, ladies and gentlemen. For those that don't remember, or who have never played Very Little Nightmares, the Craftsman is an enemy that you only find in, you guessed it, Very Little Nightmares. You encounter the Craftsman very early on in Very Little Nightmares, as he's one of the main enemies. He is definitely one of the most memorable characters in the universe because of his design. He looks like an old man with very long arms and legs. He ain't got nothing on Roger though, don't worry about that. And he's always wearing a face mask. and seems to have goggles of some type. A lot of people haven't noticed, but to me, they actually look like welding goggles, which in itself is quite interesting because it would lead you to believe that the Craftsman is creating people or things too, as we know he is doing in Very Little Nightmares. He also has black fingernails, which would suggest some type of a subungual hematoma. I hope I pronounced that right. Which, for those that don't know, means blood under the nail, and there could be many ways on how it gets there. But knowing the Doctor, we can make a pretty good guess. Another real noticeable feature about the Craftsman is his backwards feet. Now we know the Doctor likes to put things together that probably shouldn't be. Maybe he was experimenting with different rotations in limbs and things like that, so maybe this isn't as far-fetched to believe when it comes to the Doctor. But because of the Doctor's handiwork, the Craftsman has backwards feet, and again, it's a real noticeable feature. And because of these feet and legs and how they don't function, he has to move around in a wheelchair. So let's talk a little bit more about the photos. So there seems to be two photos that indicate this connection heavily, and I theorise that these are two different stages of the building process that the Doctor uses with his creations and however he documents it. Because don't forget, as we know, the Doctor does like to present his findings, as we were suggested by another image where the Doctor is in the centre of this auditorium and presenting a patient that he has obviously on the desk to a wide range of peers that's watching him. And of course, I'll show you the image I'm referring to in this little tangent I'm having. But anyway, more theorising. This made me think, if the Doctor built the Craftsman, is this where the Craftsman got his handiwork from? And also, is this where his deformities come from? From the Doctor experimenting with different body parts and patients, by not only being made by the Doctor himself, but witnessing him experiment and build and fix people or patients. So much so he can't leave the past behind him. So he makes up for it by building the children's dolls to replace the kids that the Pretender makes vanish. Or could it be that that's what he's employed to do on the nest? It might also explain where his wheelchair came from, as it has some similarities to the ones we see in the hospital. But this, again, is very interesting, and this means there could be highly likely a connection between the nest and the Pale City, and it makes me question how the Craftsman would have got from the Pale City to work to the nest. Something else that's really interesting about this theory is in fact the timeline of it, and it would add up thinking about it, because it also boosts our idea of the timeline in the Little Nightmares world, just because the Doctor must have been doing this work for a long time. So he could well have been making the janitor's skin, he could well have been making the next Craftsman well before the stuff at the mall went on. So maybe the Pale City actually fell a long time ago, and it's been functioning in this really odd, bizarre way ever since. And this is why the Doctor has been able to get away with what he does. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as usual with a Little Nightmares 2 theory video, we get one answer and 4 more questions. But hopefully, more information in the future will come out between the links of the games and the characters' origins and things like that, so we can piece together, little by little, a full understanding of the Little Nightmares universe. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think in the comments below, and let me know if you have any ideas or theories you would like to see me do in the future. But with that being said, make sure you hit subscribe to support the channel, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit a like and let me know what you think down below. And with that being said, have a lovely morning, day or night wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next Little Nightmares theory video. Bye.